couldn't find any snacks.
Really good at closing out the game, and yeah,
I couldn't find any snacks, so I got some milk.
In the end, you managed to close it out. We're going to talk about the last moments of the game a bit later, but first, Nila, a champion that we don't often see. Did
Adam
you think
tweet?
that
What did
it
he
was
tweet?
a pick that we could see at Worlds, and what is the main difficulty playing against Nila?
Yeah, I mean, it's been popping up in solo queue throughout the World's bootcamp, and I think the main strengths are the level 6 timings. Like,
what are the tweets? Let me see it.
Advantage you get, and obviously, it's both a good dive and anti-dive champion, I would say. And we didn't respect it. I didn't respect it too much in the team fight, so yeah.
Makes it difficult when it's not a champion that you see in officials that much, I believe.
Yeah, I mean, I think that just the main thing is just knowing when she hits level 3, when she hits level 6, and then from there, I think the champion's pretty
milky.
Self-explanatory.
Maybe we'll see it a bit later in the tournament, but tell me about the last moments of
Check
the
Flowers
game.
tweet.
The Elder into finishing the game on your end. I want to know about communication on your side to grab the victory in the end.
Yeah, I think it was Palafox's score. I think he saw an opening where...
What did he say?
I mean, every team is going to fight Elder Dragon because if we get the Elder, they're going to lose anyway. So I think Palafox just saw a good opening, and we think we just double TP'd in. Or
bro, what is Flowers doing?
In, and it was a good end.
Honestly,
He drinks when they win, he drinks when they lose. He's just perpetually wasted throughout Worlds.
To grab the victory in the end. I have to say that I'm really impressed by the run that you had throughout the whole year, grabbing the victory in the LCS at the end of the season, and the fact that people have been underestimating you guys all season long. Do you think it's something that gives you strength?
Here he is drinking hard liquor and straight whiskey, and then there's me drinking milk. Yeah, baby. Milky milk.
Western team maybe excluding G2 coming to every matchup with Eastern teams.
But milk is so good.
Pressure on us, and yeah, I just want to be able to show.
I'm kidding, I don't drink milk like this. But I went upstairs to the cafeteria, there was no snacks, no drinks, only milk. Milk and Red Bull, so I thought, well...
What a wholesome interview.
Milk
I like
it
that
is.
you reminded him of the fact that the road he's kind of traveled, and I think it's a great note as well in terms of NRG, and the fact that nobody expected them even to win the LCS title. So why wouldn't we give them a little bit of credit here in terms of making something happen?
Absolutely, they really are deserving of it, but this is a team that I think people look at the team and they don't see, you know, a big international star that you've heard a lot about, and they say, well, it's just NRG. They're not that good, right?
Yeah.
And I think
It's just NRG. They're not that good.
Against them yesterday, and you can't
True
really
and
say
based.
that about Matt, but this is a team.
That's true.
Because they obviously came prepared. But I do think this is a team that people constantly look past, just because the names aren't as big as. Some
Mad
of the
Lions are the 7th seed. They are.
They're cool in terms of the late game team fights for NRG and kind of the decisions they had to make and had to juggle, right? We were talking about it. It was starting to be more and more.
They are the 7th seed. It's not even cope. Do you guys know how Mad Lions got here?
I think the thing that was most impressive.
They went 4-5, finished 7th, had so many points from spring and winter that they played one best of 3, one best of 5 against XL. Wait, what happened in summer playoffs? I forgot. Oh yeah.
Yes, if you have a guaranteed win at the Elder, you fight that.
Summer playoffs they didn't make it. They made season finals on points. Won one best of 5 against XL, made Worlds. Then got cleared.
And it's also that was at that point the only way you can lose
7th
that
seed,
game,
NA,
so somehow,
7th seed.
even with the soul,
Yo.
even with everything being set up,
I bet you
take a fight that you don't.
Okay, here's a take. Here's a take. Okay, take. What about this take? I bet you Heretics would win.
I want to really also focus on the fact that for NRG, this win is so big because it means that that right now they're 2-1
at Worlds.
And particularly with how we've seen how matchup can matter a lot when it comes to the draw in Swiss. It just
if they get
gives you
Cassante.
That extra life. When you
Yo, Fishbowl with the 10 gifted subscriptions. Yo, thanks, man.
I think you're going to be appreciative.
You're going to need as many lives as you can get.
Thanks, man.
It is really scary in that 2-1 bracket, absolutely. And Palafox, I just want people to put some respect on this guy's name. You know, I think he has been snubbed a number of times for All-Pro and LCS. This is a player that Travis Gafford did a video with him where he walked around the LCS finals. And this was like a year or two ago. And he offered people money if they knew who he was. And Palafox agreed to do this. Almost no one knew who he was at the LCS finals.
Who Megalul?
LCS fans, people did not know his face. He won the LCS title. He's here. He's representing
NRG
NA well
tweet.
on the international scene. He deserves to be known.
What is it?
You beat Niski, you deserve to be known as Palafox.
There you go.
No,
hey, good one, Shocks.
Even though that game devolved into a lot of like craziness at the end of the game, the fact that, or the reason why NRG was in a winning position for most of the beginning of that game was literally his roaming, his roam timers, the impact he had upon the map, right? So if that Baron thing does not happen, I think we see a super convincing game.
And something that always frustrates me, because I've been a fan of the LCS teams in the past, is when teams play aggressively early and make one mistake.
Man,
and
meeting
then
the
stop
Shy is
doing
becoming
stuff,
really hard.
Right? And I want to really give energy.
Now I can't go to the arena
they
because
kept
the
on
arena's
going, kept on
50
trying,
minutes away.
Never unfazed by, again, some of the errors and the shenanigans that happened in that game.
As we pull up the Swiss bracket, a couple of words on Mad there.
Now, maybe I have to
you know,
meet them
they
like at the
pulled the game
hotel or
back, but I
something,
think,
but
you
if
know,
I do that, I'm
mistake
probably just a
Curate made
creep,
early on,
aren't I? If I'm
unfortunately, is
waiting
team
for me to
decision, of course, that the
No,
advantage
I'm
is
not
insane.
doing that. That's
That
creepy
costs
as
them
fuck.
dearly, and you see later on
That's creepy as fuck.
the chances that that comp could have had, but it was just a very uphill battle, and now they find themselves in an extremely uncomfortable position.
Yeah, absolutely. Down in the 1-2 area.
We get
let's
the
be
rematch.
honest,
Do we get the rematch?
We could get the rematch.
One
We're also
is not
expecting
like the
DK.
others.
Let's be honest, they're heavy favorites. You know, that could be in there. When you look up at that 2-1 pool, when you look at some of the teams that are still here in the 1-1 bracket, Weibo could be down there if things go to chalk.
How
You
did
could
they
have Weibo,
sneak
you
in
could have
there?
DK, you could have C9 who they
G2?
already
Yeah,
lost
because
to.
G2 is
You know,
10 times
TL or
better than
Gant
all of
could
them.
come
That's
through.
why
So there's
G2 is not like the
a lot of
others.
teams that are going to be really hard draws, and that's
True and
why
based, you
falling
know
to
it.
that 2-loss mark early on is so devastating for your chances.
Yeah, as mentioned yesterday already, you could be happy about the possibilities in a Swiss system, but there's still only 8 spots in the bracket stage, and you're going to have to beat one of the heavy hitters to get there, unless you get a god draw. Maybe. Let's move on to our next game. As Azale said at the top of the day, we haven't had any lower seed upsetting a higher seed yet. Is it going to be this one? It's BLG versus FNATIC.
I mean, this
Yeah,
is
a
really tough matchup.
It is.
They are big
Not.
underdogs.
No,
so
it's not.
I wanted to give
No,
you
it is.
an
Wait.
opportunity as
yes.
the EU representative to have a little bit of cope. So may I present to you the cope-o-meter here,
Okay.
Shucks.
Okay.
We're
How does it
gonna
work?
have you fill this in. So we have the players for each team, and I want to tell you, you want to tell us how much cope do you have for each of these matchups. Where do you think they could get the advantages?
Right, I'm gonna not talk about top maybe for a second.
I think maybe we
Finn
don't.
is up
Maybe
there.
they can.
We could skip that
There's
one.
cope
Okay.
and there's delusion.
Shall we start here? Maybe?
Mid.
Okay.
Yeah,
Maybe in
mid.
the mid lane.
We're coping.
Like maybe. I know this is a trap we often fall into because Yugao is not that flashy, and I think that makes a lot of people underrate him, even though he's very systematic in his
Mid,
approach
yeah.
for BLG. But
I
humanoid,
think
he has
jungle-
to be the X factor, right?
Absolutely. I mean, I'm kind of
If he's on, if it's a good day,
because Humanoid has had some really good international performances.
I think
When
Razor
you
clears
to his
should on a
best
good day.
moments, he has been able to stand up against some of the world's best
And then I
laners,
think,
and sometimes go humanoid, go crazy, take over the games.
I
Yeah,
think.
then, you know what? It becomes tricky, but we're just coping. We're coping.
Coping.
I saw a content piece from FNATIC about Noah.
Okay.
And
Yes.
it was really
Okay.
beautiful, and they talked about how
Oh,
it was his
content
lifelong
piece.
dream to make it here and to do well, and it's only his first forays into Worlds.
I don't even care what you're saying. I'm
we
agreeing.
go.
I love
Noah,
Noah.
come on, do your
Obviously,
best. Do your best.
He comes from challengers, right?
Yeah.
So you know I'm going to be agreeing on this one. Obviously, I think Elk.
Oh, he's so
Wait,
good.
is EU
he's
0-2
really
to
good. I
NA?
think the
You
lack
know it's
of
tough when you're talking. This guy's so good.
And
This
both
guy's
of them are
really
Mad
nice,
Lions?
And I watched some content. He's really sweet.
No. I do think that
He's a
Noah,
nice guy.
Noah at his best, I actually think is an AD carry that I would have loved to see in the LCK before he got picked up, right? By
Oh, yeah,
FNC.
BDS
So
130,
I
true.
think that the best form of Noah maybe has a chance.
Okay, so we gotta go more cope. I know, because I really love
Keep
BLG as
coping.
well. Oscar, we have seen an uptick.
I
in
want Mad
performance
Lions.
After hand injury.
I want TL to
We've
win
seen him.
tomorrow,
True.
and then draw Mad, and then Mad
He's doing
loses to
great.
TL.
Stomp C9.
Just for the, fuck it.
So Oscar
Just lose to
here,
all of them.
I'm gonna give you
Lose
the
to all of them,
credit.
and then we
It's
can
gonna be
call
your
you the
game. What is
outlier.
really
Just
the
do it.
difference?
Really?
I'm gonna
Who
cheer.
can
Don't
say?
lose
Type
to
of
all
victory?
3 NA
Who
teams.
knows?
You're the outlier.
Razor, listen,
And then we can
it's gonna
say
be your game.
EU is
It's
not
gonna be
bad.
your name.
It's Mad.
It
He's
has
an
to be.
explosive
It has to
jungler.
be.
I'm with you on the cope for this
Me
one.
and
It's
Razork look
ahead.
same. No with the jersey. Yo, Fnatic, you can sub
I'm
me in
glad we
if you
glossed
need.
over
You can see that.
the
See that?
top half. You
If
know
you
what,
need,
Jungle
if you need
Duel,
to sub
maybe
me in,
that's your
let me
angle.
know.
Good to
Yeah,
go, but
let me
Trippy,
know.
I have faith in you
I
as
play my
well.
Lee
Pick
Sin.
something wacky, something wonky.
Humanoid,
The
I can play.
best
I can play
space,
Twisted
that's the only
Fate if you
thing
need
I'm
mid lane too.
telling you. In any case,
I can
talking
sub
about
out.
the bot lane, Elk is celebrating his Worlds debut this year, and we've talked to him in the latest episode of Oppo. Welcome to the Rift, my voice.
Oppo. Yep, yep. Malzahar, yeah, I can play it.
Hello， 大家好，我是标记 AD Elk，然后这是我的第1次世界赛。其实对于这个的话，可能自己在上一年结束的时候，可能对于明年可能会能不能参加世界赛，或者自己能不能
Did he say the shy?
就是去一次世
I
界
heard
赛，
the
其实
shy.
可能没有那么大的希望吧。然后自己今年一年，我觉得经历了非常多吧，然后也是就非常的坎坷吧。然后对于今年一年，感觉还是非常的开心的，能够 参加世界赛，其实当时是非常的激动，然后也非常的开心的。然后自己站在世界赛舞台，其实更多的是去享受舞台，然后也是非常的很荣幸能够站在这次舞台上。
Hell yeah！
到这次世界赛，其实更多就是想让大家能够认识我吧，然后也就是能够让大家知道，我也是打了一名非常好的选手。
He said Caedrel's very handsome. Did he say that about me?
Welcome back to the caster desk. We're moving into Billy Gaming up against FNATIC. And this one, you know, I hope it doesn't go the way that we had in the first game of the day, where we did have, of course, T1 kind of stomping on C9. I hope that FNATIC can kind of reach the level of Billy Gaming in this one. But we'll just have to wait and see as we do move into the draft right away.
Yeah, I want bangers all day, but I also...
Alright, FNATIC, show me some drafting. Show me some good drafting. They ban Azir, we ban... Orianna? Thoughts? Orianna Xayah bans? Thoughts? Orianna Xayah bans? Thoughts? Thoughts?
So they've been incredibly dominant. It was a 15-1 summer split in the LPL.
Orianna Xayah ban. It's locked.
Even though they did go on that surge, have not looked to the level of BLG.
And they're 1-1 because they lost to rivals JDG again already early in the Swiss.
Okay, don't ban anything. Don't ban anything. Don't ban Xayah or Orianna now, otherwise we're griefing. What are we...
The level of competition, you know, between their match against KT and match against JDG, a little bit different here in FNATIC, but I think if FNATIC comes with a good plan, who knows what...
Don't they just get Orianna for free now? Where's the trade? What do we get?
Swiss stage as Yagao is going to get the first pick, Orianna here. You can see the involvement insanely high on this champion. 10-5 here at Worlds, 15 games played, mostly banned. But
what do we get?
That you do not want to give over early here unless you have a good reason. Don't think that reason's going to be Nidalee. We'll see what it is.
Yeah, I mean, I think the reason is it was a little bit of a gambit by FNATIC to dare Yagao to playing Orianna. So Orianna's been a meta mid for pretty much the existence of League of Legends. And here in 686 games, he's played it 14 times. So it's really way down the list of his priority for mid lane. Yes, it is extremely strong right now. Yes, Yagao is a versatile player, but he was really known for that push and move, which is definitely not what Orianna is. So I understand why FNATIC would leave it up, because if they can control a control mage versus control mage matchup with Humanoid and Yagao, or maybe even as they're hovering the Akali, get a side lane counter, that's what they're hoping to get some type of edge on Yagao that way.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's no secret FNATICs are a bit of an underdog coming into this one. You gotta pull out some tricky stuff for the drafts, and I think that's a great point. Jat, we'll see if it does work out for them. If they do have a target pick to go up against this Orianna, they go with the Poppy and the Kai'Sa. The Rakan being hovered here has been a big pick here for Worlds. Also, Rumble's still available. Still a lot of stuff on the board.
I am a big fan of Humanoid Syndra. I know we've seen Syndra played into Orianna to not that much success by APA, but I think Humanoid Syndra is very strong.
It's a tricky one, I think.
And
BLG will probably not prioritize the Syndra very highly. If that's your plan, then you could definitely hide it until later on in the draft. We'll see what they do end up picking up here.
No, to be honest, I don't think they're doing too bad. It's not too bad at all, actually. I just don't like the Poppy pick. I understand the Xayah ban, because it forces Elk onto Tristana. It's actually smart what they did. Because Elk doesn't play Kai'Sa. He doesn't. He plays Xayah. And they thought that if they ban Xayah pre-blind Poppy, he has to go Trist, Rakan. I can kind of see it.
And the Akali you mentioned,
I can kind of see it. And Poppy's a flex, so
like he can take
I don't mind it too much. I actually agree with banning Xayah.
In that matchup earlier this week. Yeah. But it's a tough one to pull off in the early
To be honest,
game,
what I think they should have done is they should have done Poppy Rakan on 1-2. Because now their engage is really weird. Because BLG bans Nautilus Alistar, their engage is fucked. They have to play Rel jungle with Akali. Rel support, sorry, with Kai'Sa and Poppy. I think they're gonna ban Nautilus Alistar, and I think that fucks bot a bit too much, and their engage is kinda gone. If they don't ban that, we're saved.
What will the focus look like in the top lane? You have to imagine
They banned Lee Sin.
Going in that direction.
Why did they ban Lee Sin? Are they flexing Poppy top? Okay, well I get Nautilus or Alistar on 4. This is perfect.
Poppy can be flex top. I don't think that is how FNATIC are going to use that for this draft, and I don't think BLG are going to be thinking about that too intently either. Jhin will lose now the Vi. There's a lot of power.
Okay. I
between
mean, they could pick
Fine
Rel on
and
4 and
Orianna.
flex
You
it.
have
There's
a big
Nautilus.
explosive follow-up
Rel
with
Alistar
that
on 4.
Tristana. It will be
Rel's a
actually
flex.
not the
Alistar
but
gives
the
away.
Nautilus that is taken
Oh my
away.
god, they're
Can be quite
are
strong
they gonna
into
double flex
Tristana,
it?
can be quite strong
I like
into
Alistar
Rakan.
a lot though.
Similarly, if you had that Leona pick, if you did want to commit to that, you could try to lock down these targets with Solar Flare. But I like the Alistar here much more.
I completely agree, especially because we're unlikely to see a Sylas, so the Alistar is fairly safe to pick. Also, if they've been scrimming any of the LCK
Well,
teams,
Bin's just gonna play Cassante, isn't he?
Has Alistar as the tier
Or
1 of 1
Jax.
support, so good pick there.
But they can play
Unless you're
Poppy
talking
into
to Delight,
Jax.
of course.
So I guess he goes
In which case
Cassante.
they keep giving him that Rakan every time. As Jax.
Oh, they're gonna
He's
flex
be
the Poppy top
lock-in
now.
here for Bin,
They're gonna pick
and
Rel, aren't they,
they'll take
FNATIC?
the Sejuani with this tons of permafrost synergy.
Flex the Poppy top, flex the Poppy top, flex top, flex top,
You're
flex
doing
top,
this
flex top.
blind, quote unquote, but
Don't
you
play
feel pretty
Jace or
good into
anything,
any
don't play
available
like-
matchup, even if they lock in the
What if he
Cassante
flex the
here,
top?
You know you have power.
Yep, it's been Jax. It's a terror. So
Nice.
we'll see what they end up. I mean, Poppy top into Jax.
Okay,
has
we
been
are
fun the whole
lacking a
time.
lot of damage.
You can see the smiles from BLG. They're like, are they really gonna Ivern us?
They lack a lot of damage, but I like it.
And
I like the
they're gonna play it
idea,
up
but
against
we lack so much
BLG.
damage.
Gonna give it a try, and definitely you can play this Ivern. I think it's going to be pretty interesting with the 180 carry that is the Kaisa of sorts. You know, we only really saw it in the LCK when you were playing double 80 carry, you got that Tristana mid and stuff like that, but certainly.
Alright, you know the
can try to be
drill.
very
You can use your
disruptive
tier 1
and
or Twitch Prime to
put up
avoid
some
ads
versus,
throughout the
try to
entirety of Worlds.
score
There's going to be a
some
30-second
lanes
ad break
well,
after
but
draft,
probably
as it always is.
I'm not a
You
big
won't
fan
miss
of
anything
this
before the
pick.
game
I'm gonna
starts,
be
but you
the
can use your
one doubter
subscription to
because,
avoid it
like
for
you
the
mentioned,
entirety
there's
of
no
Worlds
double
the
80
next month
carry.
if you
Kaisa
want
not
to.
a traditional 80 carry
You
in
know
any
the drill.
sense, and sure, you can put the trigger seed onto
I'm gonna
Akali,
say
add some
Mad.
additional
What was
damage
it?
there,
Mad
give her some
versus.
additional backline
Okay,
access.
there we
You
go.
could argue.
Yo, Coochie with the 10
maybe
gifted.
you
You're a
can catch
nutcase,
root on one of these
psychopath.
engaging
What is this I'm
champions,
sitting
but
on?
you are always
Oh, Mad
going
jersey.
to be outmaneuvered by Jax. You're going to have to deal with this Tristana leaping over. Rakan can flank.
Alright, let's rock and
You're a
roll.
squishy champion. Sure, you have the Poppy as a front line here, but
Let's
this
rock
is
and
an
roll.
extremely risky decision
Mod Gamba.
that may accelerate the pace of the game for BLG quite
I'm
significantly
scared
to
that
get some of
FNATIC's
those
gonna lack
mid-lane
damage. I'm
fights.
scared.
I think it can work,
I'm a
but I
bit
don't
scared.
think this, for me, is the place for it.
Those are actually some really good points because on one side, hey, let's just throw Poppy top, let's play Ivern because we want to be different than what
I think
BLG
FNATIC can
is
win this
used to
game.
playing against, and that's going to give us the
Now
best
everyone's gonna say,
chances.
"Cope!"
But in terms of
But I think they can win this game.
Ivern synergies, I'd say Alistar is definitely there to make the easy engage to just melee range your Q, but not having like a melee carry or double 80 carry does limit the strengths of the pick. I completely agree.
Yeah, well, we'll see if this bit of a dice roll works out for them. Definitely an interesting pick moving into this 1v1 between BLG and FNATIC as we hop onto the Rift.
Jayo!
So we do have some Jaos here.
A lot of
FNATIC Jayo.
coming down to the arena.
All right, focus up.
Saw a lot of them waiting in line to get
Who's gonna
into
kill
the
Jax?
studio today, and
But they're not
a
gonna
lot of
kill
them
Jax. They're
very
just gonna
excited
chain
this year
CC and
for
out
our
sustain.
Chinese representatives here, BLG being one of them, and Yagao.
Yeah, a bit of action here.
Humanoid
but,
Akali is really good though.
Important guys, reminder, you should log in
How
with the
can
right
Jax
account
fight?
and watch on
Ivern
the
root,
VODesports.com
Alistar
to
CC,
earn
Poppy
exclusive
CC.
drops,
Jax shouldn't be able to fight.
and icons, so make sure you do that right now so you don't forget. And you can continue to watch on there.
Oh fuck, I forgot to get water. Shit.
Every one of these LPL seeds at the World Championship
Maybe I
have
can run there in time.
started
It's
pretty
like
strong.
two,
On the
it's like
first
around the
day,
corner. Wait a sec,
every
wait a
LPL
sec.
team won. Then, obviously, BLG did drop the game to JDG, but they're not all the same. They have kind of their distinct identities. And for BLG, they like to fight a lot. And I know that doesn't
You don't
sound
say.
distinct for an LPL team, but they are the most distinct in terms of how much they want to fight. They're over 1 combined kills per minute during the summer split, which led the LPL. So just
Got
look
it.
for a lot of skirmishing
Just in time.
early and often in a typical BLG game. We'll see if that's the same against FNATIC here because their scaling, BLG's scaling, is actually
Alright, is Marek Bresta
ridiculously
popping off?
strong. So if they're going the conservative route, they'll just stick
Where are
to
you streaming
pretty
from?
even lanes and not try and push the tempo. But if they get a little bit confident, they're not going to hesitate to fight.
I think to contextualize that a little bit,
that
if you
hurts.
compare them to JDG like to fight in the late game. I mean, they will find opportunities, they will play around top side,
Yeah, exactly.
but they play through Ruler. They peel for Ruler, he's their hyper carry, they like to play around that. BLG will find opportunities and engages all game long. They like to look for picks, and this composition absolutely allows it. We talked about the Orianna into Akali early game. It's really in side lanes later on where
Oh, easy clap last hitting. Holy fuck.
Be a big threat. But
Easy clap last hitting.
Of the laning phase, these first few levels, you're not going to have any prio whatsoever.
Yeah, at least Humanoid, he is taking a bunch of damage, but he gets all of those minions under the turret. Going to be important not to fall too far behind. Meanwhile, big wave pushing down on the bottom side. As Elkin on, we're able to get an early lead against this level 1 Alistair.
I don't feel very comfortable with how many pushing lanes they've got and like how hard they're pushing.
Normally also like the classic Tristana pick into Kai'Sa. Usually you can't play Tristana 80 carry into the Aphelios or the Jinx types matchups, but against Kai'Sa, it's a pretty good thing to split the lane with.
Yeah, and grabbing early plates like this is exactly what she's designed to do against early Alistair. Has been playing with fire up here. Razork is here.
Just get him.
Yeah, I mean, they're just going to try to run. No, it's a big wave, and I suppose the timing not really working out. And as you mentioned, Wolf, that ward is going to help Bin understand that it's probably a good time to back away from the lane.
Yeah, we'll get away. No harm, no
Crab
foul.
for crab trade is good.
We'll be able to take that top scuttle. Shun will
There's no threat on anything bot.
Side with that Tristana priority. Avoiding trying to fight for scuttle. I think absolutely the game plan here for FNATIC with that Orianna prio that we've talked so much about.
Yeah, completely agree. Pretty standard early game. It will be a little tricky for FNATIC to make something happen just because BLG look to have 3 pushing lanes. The Tristana with the explosive shot, very good at shoving. The Orianna with the range advantage, very good at shoving. Bin with Bin, very good at shoving. So I feel like BLG in general
no W.
is going to have 3 winning
Oh, they
lanes.
trade back so hard. They don't have E though, which is good. They E's on cooldown.
Get some semblance of control of this lane, and they have the Ivern. Razork is here. So maybe looking for the
Oi, 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 no W, no W, no W, no W. Oh, that was sick. That was wicked. Let's go, Trimby, baby. That's what I'm talking about.
Super well played here from Trimby with the flash engage.
That was good.
Gets the knock up. Elk buffers the first.
That was wicked.
Just going to stick around here, and they have that gank, obviously, as you mentioned, coming from Razork, and that full sense of security Elk had, and he's not feeling it anymore. Down a heal as well off of the exchange, and that is really
that was
put
wicked.
an end to this early game control here from Elk.
Yeah, and that's really huge because the way BLG like to play.
No mana, you have no mana.
Yagao as well, he's low on mana, nice shot.
Yeah, he's going very aggressive.
Oh, hit him with it.
And they're looking to punish Yagao now. Has he gone too far, or is he just going to 1v2? The flash in and
the shield
comes in.
Oh, he failed.
And that is why you play
Suck on
Ivern.
it.
They did not
Suck on it.
anticipate the shield. Yagao thought he could get the outplay. The shield
He flashed it. He don't know how to Q flash on Sejuani, and they won the LPL regular season.
But I think that's
Oh
the
my
miscalculation,
God.
as you mentioned, right? Yagao and Shun now down flashes, doesn't get the ramp up on the auto attacks there that he needed to secure.
Stop saying
the kill. The
Shundrel.
shield
Why do I have
comes
to be
through, and
dragged
Yagao
into this? Shut up.
Hopes that Shun will bail him out, but he fails and wastes his flash for it. And this is 2 great plays from Razork.
Humanoid's playing amazing.
I was kind of
Humanoid always plays
I'm a
amazing
believer now.
at Worlds.
And we really need to watch how the bot lane is going to go for FNATIC because Noah has the 1 kill advantage, and one of the other identifying things about BLG is On loves to leave and roam, but if you have a losing bottom lane, if you don't win the lane first, it becomes very difficult to roam without completely abandoning your 80 carry. So just a really clean lane gank there. Trinby finds the engage, and then here, Yagao low on mana, pushed too far up, probably no way out, but once the fight gets this close and Humanoid's back, you could just flash backwards over the wall, probably alive. He flashes forwards, that's when the shield comes through, and it turns the tide.
And the brush,
Shun.
of course, prevents him from ramping that additional auto that might have
Shun.
been enough damage so close there. But
No, Caster, say
the
he's
Ivern
griefing.
kit that wins
Euphoria, say it.
Absolutely does. I think that BLG, you know, they love to fight. They're extremely confident. I would expect that they weren't expecting FNATIC to fight them this early and this often, but it is going all in favor of FNATIC so far. Now, it is just a couple of kills, 300 gold, but that is that early lead that
Winnable, 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 winnable. Winnable. We scaling out here. Nope.
Scale has been. That's going to happen a lot as this game comes along.
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons you play Poppy into the Jax. You're basically just looking to neutralize the laning phase, limit his mobility in the team fights to hopefully let Noah carry. Noah is going to have such a monster game to be able to do the majority of the damage against a Jax.
I believe in
and a Sejuani
Humanoid.
with the possibility of Orianna shields. Let's just think about the way these team fights are going to be late game. It's
First
a
Drake
lot of
is
tanks to cut
ours.
through, but Fnatic are off to a great
First
start.
blood, ours.
Are going to be able to secure this Drake, it looks like, here without any contest.
BLG,
Obviously,
frauds.
Elk and On are in the vicinity, but no one else. They're going to try to make a play topside in trade here instead. Shun
Yeah,
has
come
ult,
dive, come dive. He has
Oscar
biscuit, he has
solo
biscuit. Come
on
dive, come
Mana
dive. He has
here.
biscuit. Come dive, come dive. He has
Vin
biscuit.
has cookies that can get his mana back a little
Oscar
bit.
has biscuit. Come.
And they're going to push this wave.
Come.
It's a pretty nice stacked wave, and Shun is level 6. I mean, this is
Come dive. Come,
potential
come,
kick,
come.
but
Stop
Oscar
running
is
away. You're the
taking
ones who wanted to do it. Come. Oh, Orianna too. Orianna too. Okay, okay. I see you.
3v1. We've
I
seen
see
this
you.
already today as down should go the Poppy in due time.
Wait, the ads didn't run earlier.
Going
What?
over to Bin
Oh
as
my
well.
god.
You know, you mentioned trying to mitigate this
Oh my
Jax.
god.
Don't let him get too far ahead. He's 15 CS ahead. Plate Gold's going to go over, and the Poppy is just kind of
No, they didn't.
I want to say pushed back
They're
into
starting in
turret,
5
but he's been
minutes,
trading
40
so well.
seconds.
He even used the honey fruit earlier,
Oh
and now they're going
my
to try to
god.
turn this into topside objective control as well.
I do wonder if they can push them off this Rift Herald, because if they get it, BLG's going to be off to the races. But Razork's here, level
Maybe it's
6.
bugs.
Humanoid has ult.
A Humanoid can
Turn out
cook
to be
here.
a Kali, but Humanoid is getting in there. He doesn't give
Oh!
any damn. He's got
Malphite's
the
ult.
AC to help out with the triple knockup, but in goes on to help with his own.
Trimby!
Follow-up of Trimby. He comes
Uma!
in and turns the tides of this tight.
Trimby!
Now it's going to go down. It's a double kill for Trimby on the Alistair, and finally Uskirden does come in here.
No!
About with this one, but On and Bin will just abandon
It's okay.
ship.
I mean, Rift Herald is denied.
Alright, ads are gonna run
here.
soon, and I'm really sorry.
Nice kill on
I
the
am
back of that play as
super
well.
sorry.
I thought it was so well handled by Humanoid. Elk in trouble.
Yeah, he's
Oh,
just
nothing.
gonna throw an ult into
So if you get
Noah
hit by
as
them,
well.
I'm sorry. I can't turn them off. I can't turn them
Looking at
off.
This fight, I feel like all the ultimates expended
Look,
top lane
4 minutes.
gave
I can't
Humanoid
stop
the
it.
confidence to be able to go in on that
I
one,
can stop
and
it. I can make it
delaying
14,
the
but then
Rift
what?
Herald is
It's not gonna
very
end.
important. Otherwise, Bin will be able to crash that turret. Let's watch this dive one more
Okay,
time.
they're gonna run now. I'm sorry.
It was
It's the only time in Worlds
extremely
it's
clean.
happened.
There's a flash. There's a lot of things.
It's the only
that
time in
Oscar
Worlds.
would
Oh
have
my
been
god,
able to
I'm
do in
sorry.
defense, but they locked the CC. So the Rift
You can
Herald,
close if
he's
it's if
actually
you get hit by
gonna
ads, just
back
close
live,
the stream or something,
Humanoid,
or
we need to
do what you
watch
gotta
in
do.
this fight. Yagao has no ultimate. Sejuani has no ultimate. Bin is low on mana, so
I'm
they
sorry.
can't really retaliate that well. And the Ivern will make Humanoid a lot more effective, right?
Humanoid didn't have damage.
Effectively, a lot more health in this fight. Pops off.
I know, I know, I know, I know.
Those
I'm
shields
sorry.
Really add up. Daisy obviously really helping out significantly in this fight, and Humanoid's patience as well. Dashing out, gets stunned out
40
of the fight.
seconds,
Then
yeah, I
come
know.
back in. He does
I
end up
know.
getting taken out, but this is a huge win. Deny the Rift Herald, and of course grab those 2 kills. This is huge. Now you've got a kill on Noah. You've got a kill on this Akali. And these are accelerated champions for this composition. You were mentioning Valdez earlier that you really want to
No, Jordan,
have
thanks for
if you're going to
the
have
10
any
gifted,
sort
you're
of
crazy.
chance at competing with this composition in
Much love.
mid-game. Before we get to later parts of this where you were talking about Jack's side lane win conditions.
Yeah, it's definitely going to come down to that. This
Noah's
game
gonna die
does
on the
go pretty
tower.
long, but take a look at this.
No
Fnatic
TPs, no cleanse.
gonna get to
Oh, he
work
warded
on
it.
this Rift
Oh,
Herald, and
Noah
it's
Brain.
10.5 minutes in. They should
Let's
be
go,
able to
Noah
take this
Brain.
down, as you do see BLG on the bottom side of the map. Shun is getting in there trying to exert some pressure, but at the end of the day, it is just this free Rift Herald over to the side of Fnatic. Take a look at this, though. Elk and On.
Oh, he
with
got the cannon, too.
support, should be
Yeah.
able to take down a bunch of these plates in the bottom lane.
Yeah, pretty tough to defend that one.
Can they dive
Also,
that?
not entirely
Oh, he
sure
got him
what
into the
their
wall.
plan is against
They have to
Jax.
reset now.
They're trying to get in there. It looks like Counter-Strike
Now they have to
is
redive
down,
on
and
the next
Daisy's
E.
just getting to work down there. Meanwhile,
But I
we do
think
have
he's-
a fight up here as Humanoid. He's looking
Oh.
to exert some pressure down here as Elk. Just gonna push him back once again. As meanwhile, up in the top side,
Oscar!
Finn is getting a
Oscar!
There it is. Oscar in the 2v1 takes down that kill, and no kill in the bottom
Yo,
lane.
Oilers,
By
you're
BLG.
crazy. Yo,
And
Dolt with the
that's
50
plan
gifted.
with
Everyone
Poppy
pog him.
Ivern.
Everyone pog the
Apparently,
fuck out of
You
him.
can just walk up and dive the Jax at the turret. I don't think Bin necessarily knew that, but they get the kill. They
Pog
had
the
the
fuck out
Herald.
of him.
They're actually going to save it for later
You're
because
crazy.
they have plenty of time.
Wait, this
But
game
it's
is so
all about
winnable.
Keeping Bin down in this game, and Fnatic
Our comp is so
hadn't
good
been
at
doing
shutting
a
down
great job of
Jax.
it, did right there.
Well, this is a huge turning point, right? As Daisy is popped here, Razork coming over, and Bin
Yo,
uses
Shadow, thanks for the
Counter-Strike
10.
here to clear the wave.
How did they pull
because
this
he
off?
needs to
They
kill
reset,
the
and then
minions,
Bin
but he's
jumps to a
unsuccessful
creep,
getting
I
all of
guess?
those, and now he's just taking chip damage over
Now he
and over
flashes.
and over again from Daisy. Flashes
Oh,
away, there's
Razor
spot
K.
by the root, and then of course the avoid here on
I mean,
Counter-Strike allows
no,
Oscar
don't
to
curse it, yeah, yeah.
then follow up and kill him. And
Oh,
down here is
oh
a
no,
really
we
nice
lost
play
plates
from
in
Humanoid
bot.
because it
Ah,
seems like, okay,
fuck,
we're making
man,
the
and the
top
Kali
side
ult.
big, on the bottom side, but he wins the mid lane.
No.
Control with that prio comes down and says, that's the end of your plates. You guys are not getting any kills. You're not setting up any
better?
dive. They even get the TP. Yeah, from Yagao. He's caught that wave in mid, but
TP
better? Down. No big cross map here from BLG. FNATIC just playing the map
10 seconds on Drake. 10 seconds on
I'm
Drake.
curious how Yagao is going to be playing the Orianna.
We don't have TPs, but Bin's sprinting down here.
The map, he's almost playing it like Talia. If that
Trimby,
makes sense,
you
he's
are
playing all three
you are
sides and not playing through mid very well. Trimby's taking a lot of damage.
Yeah, he also smashed the ground. Not quite as effective as the DZ.
I don't know what the fuck is going on right now. Okay, we missed another one. DJ Trimby. Okay, that was disgusting. That was disgusting!
And that's the worst too. The Alistair shutdown. Because he'd unfortunately gotten a couple last hits in the previous fight. That's a 400.
It was Kellen Alistar, it's true. Maybe that means we need to summon him.
Really rough.
Kellen.
Getting this Tristana further
Grand
ahead.
does the win.
You know, Oscar Rinnen's going to grab a turret plate up here top side and has this push. Should be able to get his way out of here. But this is, you know, picking up gold on a
get him, Oscar.
He's going to be pretty self-sufficient anyways. You know, picking up a gold on a Jax, for example, a top
little bit to the left next time.
Is going to be way more important than
little bit to the left.
Up here and grabbing a plate on Poppy. By the time Ben gets here and Razork shows up, he's just going to be able to clear the wave. No play to be made down here. So now Drake's evened up. It is Chemtech Soul here. So might not be seeing that much of a commitment from these two teams over that. Drake, that hasn't been too impactful this tournament.
Yeah, if anything, I feel like this will be more likely to extend the duration of the game.
Top tower's low.
Obviously getting a little bit more gold up there.
Humanoid is taking a lot of damage. Gets ulted in the shroud. Wow. He's just going to go down 2v1. Elk picks up another big kill.
What a nice play by BLG there. Humanoid thinking because he has the safety of the shroud and the turret that an AD carry and a jungler won't be able to threaten him. But they just basically 100-0 them and put Elk in a very strong position. Like, this
okay,
is
it's okay. We can win. We can win.
Overall team fight
We can win. We can win.
Is still on
Elk is
pace.
playing Tristana. He's gonna jump one direction, and that's forwards. So maybe if we don't Q, Glad stop ulting. Maybe if we don't Alistar Q the ground, we combo him on the entrance.
Snapshot presented by MasterCard here. It's 1,100 gold nearly here for Elk, the advantage. And this is a carry pick. Ivern has a ton of gold in that advantage here for FNATIC, but it's Ivern with Moonstone Renewer, right? These types of picks are impactful gold. The Poppy getting topside plates, for example, with Rift Herald, not going to really change the impact of these 5v5s. Ultimate here at basically point-blank range for Shun means that he feels confident enough that even during Shroud, he can pull it off. Our observers toggled that right in that moment where you could see he knew pretty much the angle.
Very cool, and now we see the AD carries
very
move
cool.
into the mid lane. This
I'm not
Chemtech
leaving the
is
room or
to
going to the
be
toilet. Shut up.
interesting when we do start fighting over those, as I think, you know, we're probably going to be trading them off one for one. Also, who's going to get that second Rift Herald, which is spawning in a minute and a half? Could be pretty good for getting some pressure in the mid lane and trying to get ahead in this game.
Can you get it now even?
It's completed for Yagao as well.
Yeah,
so
fuck it.
His Shockwave or even just his QW will start doing more and more damage. Really big upcoming team fight. If FNATIC can actually pull off the next team fight, let's say Humanoid gets significantly ahead of Yagao, then they'll be able to maneuver away from team fights. Because, like, I really do think either Noah has to be ridiculously far ahead to shred through a very strong front line of Bin and the Sejuani, or Humanoid needs to be so threatening in side lanes that he can easily kill Orianna and possibly stand toe-to-toe with Jax if he has the Ivern shadowing. Otherwise, the 5v5 team fights, I think, will be well in favor of BLG.
There's one also extra card they have up their sleeve in terms of the Poppy ultimate, but that's not something you can reliably use in each and every fight to warp it into a 5v3, for example, in your favor, especially when we consider how far away Jun can be in any of those moments, how Bin can flank.
This is a really weird map state, but I think FNATIC is favored in this map state because Herald's in 20. Noah's got a really good base timer.
Still, at least a little
Razork base timer is good. Trimby's got good wards. They're gonna have bot push right now, so Oscar can maybe save bot TP. Top TP. We're kind of just walking up. Fucking hit that guy! Don't let him just walk up.
Extremely deep now. He is Rakan, and you'll see
that. Oh my god, it's cringe, man. This guy just walking up, getting vision.
They say, well, you're probably too slippery for us to do too much about it. But you can see that both teams really trying to get some pressure.
Oh my god, I'm worried actually.
Map control over this part of the map is now Trimby.
Hey, Tristana's on a reset, but they don't know it.
And now he's out of the pit.
Like,
He's spotted.
And now he's on the run.
we're dropping bot waves to move up here to get control. Okay, sure.
He's going to be okay, luckily for him. Very tanky Alistair.
Bin is
Humanoid has top
having his
push.
way with the bot lane minion wave, so he's just going to keep farming and farming. FNATIC is just, I'm just thinking about how these fights are going to play out. They're so low damage.
Right, they're going to catch on once again, but, you know, again, it's
Knock up onto
they
3.
don't want to go into this choke against that and take a fight in that position. As Bin is
Okay.
making his way
Oh,
up.
Oscar position.
Maybe.
Maybe.
In the bush. It looks like they
Nice. Nice. Humanoid. Don't die. Just don't die. You can't kill him. Don't die.
This fight coming in. Humanoid is pretty deep as the Poppy ultimate this time. You can rely on that one, but Humanoid again, he doesn't really.
Yeah, Oscar.
Whoa. As Oscar
Oh, nice. Not bad, Oscar. Oh. Ow. Where's our damage at? Noah, he left the fight. He's back. Oscar's cooking. Let him cook, Oscar. Let him cook. We need Drake, maybe.
Divide and conquer. FNATIC just pick them apart piece by piece. Humanoid will fall, but it was beautiful to see how they punished on using the steadfast presence, locking him out. The Kaisa
Holy
damage
fuck.
is enough, and then you
We're gonna
have
lose
the
mid
fall
tower,
of
though.
their Poppy ult knocks Elk away.
No, we're not losing mid tower,
Damage is
nice.
split. Yagao, he's Oriana.
Fuck that
He doesn't
guy.
have damage throughput to continue that fight. Elk, meanwhile,
Look at this guy.
I mean, he's not going to be able to hop away. It's okay. He's got a Rakan near put the step-fast presence in. But he's not going to get it. As taken away.
Oscar! That's our boy! That's our boy!
Oh, you love the Chemtech Rift. You just gotta love it, Valdez. I know it's your favorite.
Oh, yeah. Love it.
Yes!
FNATIC is having a moment right now. If they can continue to clutch up these team fights, we're talking about some of the ways they might be able to win. One of them was Noah or Humanoid need to get really fed. 3-0-0 now. Really starting to tick up his power.
Let's get
the
that dragon.
And honestly, Oscar being ahead of the curve right now, 2-1-2 on the Poppy, makes him incredibly hard to kill. He's the Giga Tank at the moment because they not only have him, they have the Iron Shields, which work multiplicatively with resistances, so he really can't die in these fights unless BLG spend a substantial amount of time damaging him down.
Bin walking through here. There is one warrior he can try to flank from, but it's not a great
Oscar?
one, so he's just going to walk his way
Okay,
over here. That's going to be the main engage. We'll see this teleport flank.
No Tristana W. No Tristana W. No Shockwave. No Jungler. No Dragon. No Rakan. Okay, maybe a Rakan, but still. Oh, Uma. He's won. Come on, just give us a kill. Stop being weird. Trimby is griefing, and now we are losing.
It's got to give them the answer as the shutdown comes in for soon.
It looked so good. It looked so good in the fight, and the shields really stacking up onto Humanoid made it feel like maybe they could carry their way through. But
It's okay, they can't get Nash, don't worry.
Here on the side of BLG, even with the low health bars, once you're
They can't get Nash, don't worry.
Akali, it's just so tough. Bin spots this flank, stuns off of the teleport here. Humanoid gets out, and then the follow-up here.
Oh my god, how did that Tristana not die? How did that Tristana not die?
The fight starts off, but then they all in onto the Rakan.
And BLG team fighting is
Rakan didn't die.
You can see the way
Tristana didn't die.
people just get away with slivers of health and never quite let you finish them. Look, on an Elk, you think, hey, it's going to be a 3v5, let's keep going. But he's able to get the Oriana shield. He stays just on the outside.
Noah's
of the
ult just
team
came
fight,
up
so
now.
when does go
He didn't have
in,
ult. It's
Elk
up
is
now.
the one who's able to clean up. For a guy who seemed like he could be out of the fight, the turn at the end just catapults BLG ahead.
And once Akali's mobility options are down, there's no way she can actually get back in and offer anything to the fight, even with the health lead that she has in that moment. So Humanoid just has to watch as his team kind of gets front to
Kellen,
back.
we need
by
your
the
help.
turn and
Kellen,
burn there,
Kellen,
coming
please.
from Elk.
I'm
Doesn't matter
summoning
how
the
low
6
you are as
Dragon
an AD
Balls.
carry, if you've
I'm
got the
summoning
space to do
Kellen.
the damage.
And this one coming in, we did have BLG as the favorites. They are currently favored by the win probability powered by AWS, but this game has really been on a knife's edge.
Seven Dragon Balls.
It still does feel like it could be anybody's game. I think we'll just have to wait and see how the future fights do go. You talked about the team fighting from BLG. Elk currently on top of the damage charts.
And this is like Elk superpower, man, because On is almost never in lane. They gave up first blood. And oh yeah, by the way, he's done 5,000 more damage than literally everybody else in the game. He's just so good at team fighting, and BLG in general is so good at allowing him to be good. So Yagao in this game, Orianna, a power pick for everybody else, hasn't looked spectacular, but he's almost, to me, prioritizing his shielding, right? He's making sure that Elk is the one who's going to be able to carry, or Bin is the one who's going to be able to deliver the pain.
Yeah, and that's one of the things about this Tristana pick. If you look at all 10 champions of the game, Tristana has the longest and most consistent damage output of any of these champions. Obviously, Akali can burst very quickly, so can Orianna. Kaisa has some sustained damage, but it's never going to be able to compete with the Tristana that is just constantly auto-attacking in these fights and getting resets and jumping forward. So if he lives long enough, if you can't actually
we need time. We need time.
Always go BLG's way.
FNATIC's not out yet. It's actually fine for now.
FNATIC's MO needs to be to pick him.
It's fine for now.
So close.
They just need to figure out a way.
But they need to finish that takedown. They need to eliminate him to win these fights.
And I really feel like FNATIC's strength of his team composition is so
not bad. No Sejuani, no Radiant Virtue, no Daisy, no Alistar, no Assault. I feel like BLG would force Nash to try and get TP, but they can't force Nash.
To knock someone backwards or really just force fights around these objectives, because if it gets too late, I feel like BLG will just take over.
Might just end up being that way, but for now it is pretty close, and you can see that FNATIC, I really love what actually the Ivern offers in terms of trying to clear out vision. You know, just put the Daisy in front, you're just able to put up a bunch of brushes, and even in a very even game state, you're just like, okay, we're going to take over this river. Now BLG immediately is going to come in here and clear up this vision and take control of it, and you can already see that with 2 items here, the Black Cleaver as well picked up by Bin to deal with the Poppy in the side lane. This is going to become an issue.
C9 had 0 kills at this point. Oh, really?
We've been talking about with Akali so much this tournament, how she could shut Orianna down, doesn't necessarily
Drake's in 50. Dragon is really good for FNATIC's comp. It's really good.
Jax is winning the other side.
This is actually a rare Chemtech W.
To have so much more space to
rare Chemtech W this game.
The Akali entirely, so that hasn't yet become a major issue for Yagao just yet.
This one is going to be pretty interesting. We do have the Chemtech Drake on the way, the second one of the game, and FNATIC coming in here. They already have one.
Humanoid has Void Staff
on the Drakes. We'll see if they make a big play for this. We talked a lot about their mid-game
I think FNATIC should take the fight.
But again, it really will come down to the execution when we do get into these fights.
And you can see BLG with just so much control over the river here. Humanoid does have teleport, but there's no good wards to get a flank off. It's going to be extremely difficult for FNATIC to actually fight this dragon. They're going to have to brute force their way through a choke point if they want to stop this.
Look at the ball placement. I mean, you just can't even walk up on Shun here because the Orianna is right with him, and if you get ulted in that choke, that's the end of the fight. And Elk has so much DPS, he can just simply take this out on his own. They hold the choke with the Orianna ball. What do you do, FNATIC? You've got no options.
Well, they're going to just run through the Orianna and try to take this one down. The ult
why is Trimby flashing in like that? Why? There's no one there. The Poppy ult saved him, I think. Mate, oh my god, we're all griefing. Oh my god. Why are we flashing in? Everyone else is in Narnia.
They were able to force their way through the choke. They did close the gap, and Trimby's engage was pretty decent there. But On goes back through. Bin waits till the last moment. He engages there with a counter-strike. There are just too many threats, and even with the attempted smite steal there, or the attempt for Razor to get in there, the damage is just too high on Elk.
Why? Well, look at this flash engage. Like, what do you want to happen?
And once again, can you kill the Tristana? You're trying so hard. Elk has the shields. He kites back. You just cannot kill this guy.
Oh my god.
It's done. It's over. On goes back in.
Oh my god. Bin clutched it.
All locked in, and Elk, full health. He's free firing.
Bin clutched it.
A good team fight from BLG, even though Oscarinen ejected 2 with the Poppy ult, even though Alistar had a 4-man pulverize. It wasn't even close. It was completely dominated by BLG. It is what we've been talking about, though. The incredible synergies of their team composition, the low damage by FNATIC, how much their team composition needed to accelerate the game in the mid-game. And even though it's 26 minutes, it feels pretty late, and BLG has turned on.
Absolutely. The Red Bull Baron power play here for the side of BLG. They not only take a gigantic fight, they take down the Baron, and that might just be the moment right before disaster that we have seen so many
Just have to slow down, give mid and top tier 2 just fucking... I think FNATIC, oh my god, it's still playable, but it's, oh my god.
With turrets as well just allows you to rush them down so quickly. You saw that inner disappear, and now just carefully sieging that.
I do think it's still playable.
Also threatening a flank on here, looking for Razork and Oscarinen, getting chipped
Like, it's not
away.
lost,
They're
it's
not
playable.
Safe right now on that inner. They're gonna have to link up with the rest of the team, but
They
if
will lose
the rest
mid
of the
inhib.
team links up, you lose your inhibitor. It's kind of a lose-lose situation here for FNATIC.
I think the win probability now is telling the story.
Give
We're
mid
up
inhib,
to
it's okay.
95%. FNATIC
Lose
gonna
top tier
have
2,
to
it's okay,
really
Oscar.
pull this
Just
one
give.
back if they wanna have any chances. A million brushes
Okay, we're
and
fighting to the
Oscarinen
death.
holds onto this turret.
Yeah, I mean, if FNATIC tries to actually hold this outer turret, that could be the end of the game. There's still a long time left on this Baron power
Don't
play.
grief the game for it.
30 seconds.
They're gonna
Then
TP for this
probably
tower.
gonna pop back to base, grab an item, and come right back if he
We're
wants
griefing
to.
the game for it.
Oh, he's just taking so much
Oh, no
shielding
shockwave.
from the Tristana. And
Now
the
drop.
engages down from the side of FNATIC just
Oh
look
my god, they are really
lackluster
horny to hold
compared
this.
the huge amount of damage that BLG has.
And Redemption's going to heal them back up. They're buying time here. They are weakening the Baron play because it's taking time away. They've already lost the mid inhibitor. They've conceded that point. But these
dead, tower's dead.
pushes have bought a ton of time. Trimby looking for an engage.
Well, they
Gonna
held,
come
but
up
for
empty,
what?
though.
For
Gets
what
the
are they
knockout.
holding?
There's just no follow-up damage.
For
There's
what?
no sustained damage here. You only have burst with
To
Kaisa
slow them
and
down?
Kali. So you need something else, and I think it might be too little too late.
Yeah, BLG looks comfortable to just take their time. Bin just rolling down the bottom lane. BLG actually get that 4v5.
Oh, on and
No, it's trying to back in front of On. I think On was not happy with
Kinda
that.
smart.
Throws an ignite in
Nice try.
to keep him around. But yeah, with 30 seconds left on the Rebel Baron power play, they're just trying to get as much value out of it as possible.
I'm actually not sure if BLG fought a 4v5.
He's basically
if they
gambling that
even
Poppy
not
chokes
having
W
been
by
there,
ulting
just
on
the
them.
structure of
Poppy
having this
pre-Ws,
one
it fades,
on
and then he just
Tris
Ws him.
is very powerful right now with how good Elk is playing and how much gold he has.
I mean, Bin has a Zhonya's and a BF sword on top of his cleaver. He is going to make
Big
quick
Bin.
work of anyone that he encounters, but if he just PvEs, he's also happy to do that. It's very difficult to catch him. He can buy so much time as long as Yagao has teleport. It's never going to be a 3v1 on this Jax. He could just counter-strike, Zhonya's, back away, leap away, and then suddenly Yagao appears, suddenly the rest of the team appears. So not only is he Jax in the side lane, but he has so much support here and so much time. And as FNATIC, where are your options? I mean, you're so far behind you, you have no map control, there's no flanking wards.
Still playable,
or
I think, no cap.
humanoid, and you somehow have to front to back with Kaisa Akali. You're going to need a big ult from Oscarinen, and you need to kill Elk. That's the one thing you have to do.
Oh boy. Well, everybody's being roped into this one as Shin doesn't really seem to care.
Where is the damage?
Will follow up on this. They knock away the recovery.
Oh my god,
Massive
open.
Shockwave comes in, and finally Yagao gives himself a chance to shine.
Here comes Bin.
The fights are playable, they just don't have damage yet.
Extend this play, but FNATIC have backed up, but Oscar's going back in.
Look, the sustain is fine. It's just, where's my Lord Dominic's on this Kaisa?
Yeah, I will say FNATIC is pretty hard to kill. The tankiness of Oscarinen as well as the shielding from Razork are making these fights pretty long. Also able to stuff a lot of that engage from Rakan at the tail end, but it is likely too little because there's no
It's okay,
way
I mean, Kaisa
they're
just
making
needs
it
more
through this
items.
Chemtech Drake.
You mentioned the Chemtech Soul probably extending the game. You know, it's 2-2 Drakes here. A lot of push in mid using that super minion wave here from BLG. FNATIC delay. They buy some time in the base, but they're never going to get prio. Now the Drake goes over. Bin goes back to his natural habitat here down in the bottom side of the map. And this bot lane pushes waves through. We're going to have a bit of a lull after this.
A
But
lull?
you can see, no matter what FNATIC try to do, Elk is always so far away from the action, and then he just goes straight forward. And
Nah, it's
It takes
crazy.
a long time to kill him. It's really
It's
difficult to get
crazy.
through these tanks.
We need
He's
Lord
just
Dominic's
free-firing.
ASAP
Now
Rocky.
The front line Shun's going to provide here, and Yagao has Shockwave, he has the shields, the ball carrier is in the front line. What do you do here as FNATIC? Because your options limit, you could buy time, but that's it. And if you buy enough time for the inhibitor, maybe you get one more team fight. Maybe that Oscarinen ult is what changes this game.
Yeah.
But it doesn't get easier from here.
Gotta land the perfect Poppy ult somehow, or help Elk just make some monstrous mistake. Even though they have 2 GAs coming
Oh,
in
he's
now.
too clean.
On nose. I mean,
He's
there's
too
one
clean.
spot they're going to be. There's just way too much vision on the map right now.
Can we slow down this Baron?
You're in
Can we
this
steal
push,
this Baron?
or
Can we
just
be
gonna get a
useful?
ward down for free, and he will eventually get his team on over just to extend vision before this Baron respawns in 30 seconds.
can see BLG just biding their time. I'd say good discipline by them this game. It didn't go well early. They didn't force any massive team fights when FNATIC was at their strongest. Even when they had that first Baron, there would be a version where they try to play super aggressive, dive in or turrets, but the disaster there would be Oscar in and gets a big poppy ult. Maybe they give away a few bounties. So they're playing very conservatively. They know they have the better scaling, and they know they have this game if they just play it right.
It's like we're comboing them for what? Like what for? A mental edge? Like what are we doing? You expect to just one-shot Rakan when Kai'Sa's catching top wave.
Is this the flank you were looking for, FNATIC? I'm not so sure as he will dodge that one. And Finn going 1v3 in the back line, even against the Oscar, against the Poppy as Oscar eventually goes down. And
That's
nobody
crazy,
can kill
man.
Finn in this game anymore.
No, it's gone.
He's
It's
got
done.
GA, he's got his
It's
own,
done.
he's got so much armor stacked up on top of the fact that he's Jax, he wasn't even gonna pop his GA, and that may just be the beginning of the
Fuck
end
me,
in
man.
this one.
That's how it ends. It's not a Baron, it's not a Drake, it's just a fight in the jungle. They're gonna take a lot of this turn. Wow!
Oh, boy. Well, that's what you could not afford at this point, although it looks pretty over. Down goes the Kai'Sa. Noah not able to help out his team at the very last moment, and Bin and the rest of them, the boys on BLG, will be able to take down this Nexus and play with their food in the fountain just a little bit more. There you go. BLG will move on to 2-1.
Cringe.
And the Ivern,
All right,
ultimately,
listen.
in the beginning of the game,
Europe may have lost
huge
2
impact.
games
There was the game top
today.
side, there was the earlier game
Well,
bottom
Europe lost
side,
1 game. That
and
doesn't count.
Razor really
But
put BLG on
But
the back foot early with this pick.
one
especially
team
also
will
that
win
mid
today.
Play where he was able to get the flash, was able to
And you
get
know what
the
that team
shield
is?
out
Tell
there,
me.
2 flashes
Which team's
down,
gonna win
and
today?
So much momentum, but what its function was in late game wasn't
Weibo.
and it was never,
Yeah, that's right.
there was
Stop
never
writing
an
KT.
opportunity for BLG to
Weibo.
control to get towards Elk, and
It's
on,
time.
he literally just kept walking him to the front,
It's
like,
time.
engage on me, I'm Rakan.
It's
There's definitely
time.
not 4 members behind me who are about to collapse in, but as